Today's First Alert afternoon weather update is brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.
Good Friday, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here live for our 2 p.m. First Alert weather live stream. I want to thank everyone for joining me here today as we just take a look at what we can expect for the weather as we head towards the weekend and through the rest of our Friday, as many of us still have plans for the rest of the day. Maybe that's getting out and just enjoying some sunshine as it starts to shine here, or maybe it's hanging out with friends and family. But we're going to start off today's stream looking outside. This is downtown Flint, where you are seeing some sunshine. There's still cloud cover in the sky. It's not going to be totally clear as we get through the remainder of the day, but there's definitely less cloud cover than what we woke up to. There's less snow chances than what many woke up to, and that will continue to be the trend as we get here over the rest of our Friday afternoon. It does change a little bit as we head into the weekend. Like normal, I do like to look across the state. We're going to start off looking out to the west. This is downtown Grand Rapids, showing off some more sunshine there. Again, it will be from the west to the east that we do start to see some areas clear off as we get through the remainder of our Friday. It's not going to last too long. By the time we get into Saturday morning, cloud cover does arrive. And I did want to look at somewhere a little bit warmer. Let's look down to the south. This is Crystal River, Florida, showing nice day there. I bet you it's a lot warmer there in Florida than it is here, where we continue to see temperatures into the teens. But we take a look at Sky Tracker. It's showing us that we do have some light lake effect snow that has developed really late morning that is now starting to move out. Now, there are a few areas to the north that you do get some snow, lake effect snow trying to reach. That's northern Roscommon County, I think Ogama County, towards West Branch. You could be seeing some light snowflakes, but really nothing much more than that as we get through the remainder of our Friday. Another snow chance that's going to arrive as we get into Saturday. Now, temperatures, again, like I mentioned before, are pretty cool out there. You're definitely feeling it. Temperatures mostly in the mid to upper teens. You do throw in a few lower 20s, though. We'll continue to see more 20s pop up through the remainder of our Friday. But right now, it's Standish, Gladwin, Clare, all at 20, Mount Pleasant at 23, Owasso at 22, Saginaw is also at 21. We can see our shoreline cities there, at least east of the bay, our Caseville at 21, Port Hope at 20, Harbor Beach 20, and Port Sanilac also at 20. So definitely cooler. You're definitely feeling it. I just walked outside. It's crisp out there, and I think that's mostly because our wind is still noticeable right now out of the west-northwest at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Do get a few places closer to 20. Flint right now at 18, Owasso at 15, Caseville and Port Hope at 18 and 17. So those areas definitely noticing a breeze, and wind gusts have been noticeable as well at times. So you can see Bad Axe at 24, Port Hope at 18, Lapeer at 17. So a little stronger as you get up towards Huron County, then down towards Sanilac and even Lapeer County. But definitely something we're going to notice through the rest of the day, just a light breeze. But with the combination of our temperatures and our wind, our feels like temperatures are definitely tanking just a little bit. It's single-digit feels like temperatures for a majority of mid-Michigan. It's a few of those outliers in the 20s where you may be into the teens, but even Caseville, Port Hope, your stronger wind at time, I would imagine you're probably feeling single digits. It's Mount Pleasant, one of the warmer areas that we have right now, sitting at 13 with that feels like temperature. But again, lots of areas, single digits. Bay City at 8 degrees, Standish at 5, West Branch at 4. You get down to Owasso at 9, but even then, Flint's at 2 degrees. So definitely going to want to probably bring that jacket if you are going to be out and about for the rest of our Friday. Now, as we get through the rest of our afternoon here on our Saginaw planner, there really isn't much change. I think the biggest change is going to be cloud cover does start to break apart a little bit through the remainder of our Friday, and then by the time we get to sunset, I think we actually could see partly to mostly clear skies. So that will definitely be the change through the day. Temperatures stay relatively stable in the lower 20s and upper teens. It'll be late tonight that we start to see those temperatures drop. Then as we get into your weekend, not much change. There is a lake effect snow chance for Saturday, but we can see here on our weekend planner, Saturday starts off cold. It's going to be single digits. It's going to be teens. By midday, we're back into the lower 20s. 20s, and then we're staying in the 20s for most, if not all, of Saturday afternoon. That snow chance starts right around, I think, midday. Some models have it as early as 10 a.m. It's not the sort of heaviest amount of snow, but it's enough. You definitely could notice it. Could you see some slick spots? That's always a possibility. If you can get the right banding, could you get a quick heavy snow? That's always a possibility when you do get lake effect snow development. And then by Sunday, if you're looking to get outdoors, it's still teens and 20s, getting up into the 20s by midday, staying in the 20s through the afternoon. Sunday doesn't hold that snow chance as well as Saturday. Could we see a few flakes? I'm not counting that out, but definitely getting into a drier pattern for Sunday. In terms of wind, both days are on the calmer side. It's a west wind on Saturday at 5 to 15 and a northwest wind on Sunday at 5 to 15. So definitely some relief from those wind that we really had a strong start of the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, pretty strong wind across mid-Michigan. And that carried over from the weekend that also had strong and noticeable wind. So anyone that's looking for that relief, you definitely get some of that through this weekend. Not as concerned for blowing snow as maybe what we were earlier in the week, even with some more accumulations trying to set up as we get over Saturday and even on Monday. We'll get to that here in just a second. But I do have to take a quick break. Once I come back from that break, we are going to be looking at more details for the weekend and temperatures, wind, all of that. So make sure you stay right here. Welcome back, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here for the second half of our First Alert Weather live stream. I want to thank everyone for joining me. Like I mentioned, we're going to be looking at the next couple of days here in the second half of this stream. If you have any questions, head over to our Facebook page at WNEM TV5 News. There, I do try to answer any of the questions that you may have. I do apologize if I miss your question. I don't always get the chance to look over at your chat, at the chat. Sometimes it is also broken, so that's just Facebook not wanting to work some days, and I do apologize if I missed your question. But as we get through the night, lows are going to be back into the teens, another cold one. It's obviously just January now, I almost said December. It's been a couple days through the holidays making me forget what day it is. But lows tonight are going to be back into the teens. A few areas upper teens, especially in shoreline cities, but for a majority it's those mid to lower teens. I'm not even going to count out a few single digits as well through the night. So if you have plans for early Saturday morning, just be prepared. You might need to be bundled up. Wind looks to stay consistent, so feels like temperatures most likely going to be back into the single digits. We'll actually take a look at what our feels like temperature is going to be for Saturday. So what we see is feels like temperatures single digits through about 10 a.m. It's after that we warm up enough that even with calm wind, we're still sitting in the teens, so about 10 degrees below what we're going to see for our highs into the afternoon, because our highs for Saturday afternoon are right back into the mostly the mid-20s, I'll say. You could get a few lower 20s, get a few upper 20s. If we get some sunshine at times, that definitely helps keep some areas a little bit warmer. But again, for the most part, it is those mid-20s. Bay City, 25. You got West Branch, 24. Clare at 25. Bad Axe at 23. And then Flint and Saginaw both at 24. Lapeer, Sandusky also join in that range of 24 degrees. As we get through the day, like I mentioned before on our weekend planner, wind doesn't look to be much. It's mostly out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour, so really isn't anything that's going to go ruin your day. Isn't too strong like what we had at the start of the week into last weekend. So I think that's a good thing. I know I've had a few people in our chats during this stream and just on Facebook say, hey man, we've been windy. When is this going to stop? And we've had a few days here where it's calmed down and it continues to calm a little bit more as we get into Saturday, and I think Sunday holds really similar wind gust profiles at 10 to 15 miles per hour. So really nothing too widespread, too major as we get with that wind for both Saturday and on Sunday. Now we take a look at our hour by hour. There really isn't much here for today. Again, cloud cover is going to try to break apart. You definitely will see some sunshine like we're already seeing. Like I mentioned before, like I showed off, Flint, you're seeing some sun. It wouldn't surprise me if majority of Shiawassee County is starting to see some sunshine. Owasso, Perry, Morris, and you get out to Gratiot County. It's another area that should see some sunshine here over the next really remainder of the afternoon. It's going to be areas like Clare, Midland, Bay City, Saginaw that I think you see some sun. It's probably going to be a little bit more cloud cover at times, but definitely drying off as we get through the remainder of the day. And that continues to be the trend even as we get through a majority of the night. Now, I did want to highlight cloud cover does start to build itself again as we're waking up tomorrow morning. This is 5 a.m., so maybe even still a little bit early for some. You definitely get more cloud cover. That increases more and more as we get through our Saturday. And then by midday, we start to see that snow chance arrive. It's not the most widespread snow. It's not even going to be the heaviest snow, but it's definitely enough that you'll notice it at times as you're getting out and about for your Saturday afternoon. Again, starting as early as 11 a.m. for our western counties. That's including our 127 corridor. So if you do have travel plans along 127, just be prepared. You could come across reduced visibilities with this snow. And then we can just see through 3, 4, 5 p.m., just these sort of scattered snow showers developing, calming down, then developing again. So just something we could see on and off for a majority of our Saturday. By, I think, 10 to 11 p.m. late Saturday night, that snow chance does look to lower itself and will be dry as we get through Saturday night into Sunday. This is midday Sunday, seeing those dry conditions continuing to set up. And then Sunday night is where we actually get our next chance of snow. So this isn't a long-term dry pattern. It does look like, sort of long-term, we're just going to continue to see. We'll have a dry day, we'll have a day of lake effect snow, then maybe we have a system move through, then we're dry for a day, just really just rotating that snow chance and even a rain chance as we get into next week. We'll show that here in a second, but 7-day forecast does show some snow chances as we get into next week as temperatures start to warm again. So if you're someone that likes snow on the ground, some warmer days next week, that may end up hurting any of our accumulations that we are going to see or have been seeing here as we get past New Year. But like I mentioned, a snow chance does look to arrive ahead of a sort of a system, a low pressure system moving through the region. That again will be late Sunday into Monday morning. It looks like that system really does show itself by midnight Monday and then really just travels across mid-Michigan, reaching the Tri-Cities by 1 a.m., reaching our eastern counties, Huron, Tuscola, Sanilac counties by 3 a.m. So a pretty quick moving system, but it does look like this will give some accumulations. I think 1, possibly 2, if you can get the right banding set up. So just more snow that you'll have to shovel most likely Monday morning. Be careful, you could run into some slick spots Monday morning as you're heading off to work or maybe you're taking the kids to school. I think that's something that is, again, like I mentioned before, it's not the most snow, but it's enough that does give you some snow-covered roads as we get up Monday morning. This is 6 a.m. Seeing a majority of that snow chance has moved out to the east. It's just clearing some areas to the north where you do have some light snow still wanting to hang on, especially like Ogama County and then heading towards Standish into the Bay. Now, in terms of accumulations, this is just for Saturday. We'll see if I can fix it here. We'll get Monday snow totals as well. But Saturday snow does look like we actually get up to an inch. So there are going to be some areas that you may have to reshovel. So about 1/2 inch to an inch is what we expect for a majority of the area. It'll be areas like Owasso, Flint, maybe just a little bit more. Like I said earlier, if you do get some banding in the correct location, it could increase. And then I think it's going to be areas like Bad Axe, Port Hope, Port Austin, even Caseville could be close enough, where if you just get the right wind off the bay, you might get some lake effect banding that wants to set up. So that is why areas like Port Hope and Bad Axe on our snow predictor map are just a little bit higher, maybe 1 to 2 inches, maybe getting up to 3 if you can just get the right setup of lake effect snow. So just be prepared for that Sunday morning for areas like Bad Axe, and then if you live north of Bad Axe towards the water, again, Port Hope, Port Austin. I think Caseville could be in that mix of, hey, you just get enough lake effect banding that you do see a little bit higher snow totals for Sunday. Now let's see if I can roll Monday into this. And actually what I'll do is I'll try to remove Saturday. We'll just see what the model here is showing for Sunday. Let's see if I can actually get a different model real quick. This is what we can do here. We can just add and see what we can add to this. If I can find one. Okay, this is not going to work, is it? Well, let's just see if this will go to Monday then. Just so we can see, because that system does look to sort of move through pretty quickly, but with the setup it's been showing on models, I do think it does have some accumulation. So let's reload that just real quick here. So it isn't going to go out that far. Yes, it is actually. So this is just including Monday through 4 a.m. So as you can see, that system may actually end up giving us a good amount of snow, at least compared to what we've been seeing, 2, 3, possibly 4 inches. Now, I will say I think this model may be overestimating it just a little bit. This will be something we have to watch here through the rest of the afternoon as we get more data and some of our short-term weather models start to pull a little bit more through Monday. Definitely tomorrow we'll have a good idea of, hey, how's this snow setting up for Monday morning? So just be prepared. I think that's going to be the sort of the story of the day. Be prepared for Monday morning if you do have travel conditions. I know school's starting back up. People are getting back off into work mode after the holiday season. You definitely could run into some accumulation, some slick roads for Monday morning. So just be prepared for that. As always, this weekend we'll have more updates. One of the things you can do is scan the QR code right below me. That will download the First Alert Weather app onto your Apple or Samsung devices, and where you can get the latest updates. And if we do end up getting any kind of weather headlines from the National Weather Service, you also get that update through our app. So it's always handy to have if you are someone that has plans, especially Monday morning. Like I said, I know schools are getting back started. People are getting back out with their normal routine after the holiday season. But I am getting closer to the end of stream. Real quick, we are going to look at our 7-day forecast. What it's showing is 20s are hanging on through the weekend. We'll be back to the 30s on Monday with that snow chance in the morning. But you notice that trend. By the time we get to Tuesday, temperatures are above freezing, back into the mid to upper 30s. We'll have upper 30s possible for Wednesday, a drier day there. And it does hold that for Thursday next week, we'll start to see more rain chances, and we'll start to see our temperatures back into the 40s. So really just not holding on to any one pattern here as we get through the next 7 days. And I've been noticing the Climate Prediction Center has been giving, hey, these next couple of weeks could be warmer than average for mid-Michigan. So if that trend holds on, we may see more 30s. Obviously, you start to get into that 30 range. It's just you start to get that transition from snow to rain. So we'll see how things play out. But for now, 7-day forecast is showing us that warm up as we get into mid next week. But I don't see any questions over in our Facebook chat. Like always, thank you everyone for joining me. Hopefully you have a wonderful rest of your Friday. Enjoy the weekend. Stay dry, avoid any of that snow, and stay warm as temperatures stay in the 20s.
Thank you for joining us. Today's stream has been brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.